Be sure to make Tepache. It is so good! Welcome back to the fermentation adventure. This week we are making a delicious fermented pineapple drink called Tepache. This is a drink from Mexico that is absolutely delicious. It's sweet and we're gonna make it bubbly. It's gonna be kind of like a beer and you don't even need a starter culture. Before, we love making ginger ale and all kinds of drinks where you put a ginger bug starter. This one can't be any easier. We're using just pineapple and a couple other ingredients that we're going to talk about.
Guys, this is a drink you should be super excited about. The fact that you're already starting by watching this video means you're interested in making tepache, and that is awesome. Tepache actually comes from an ancient Aztec word, and it literally meant a corn drink.
Yeah, way back then, I think it was called the Nahua people, and their language is called Nahuatl. And down in Peru, they still make a drink from corn. It's a purple drink, and it's called chicha.
You know, I'm really impressed by your pronunciation on that. I think he may have Googled it.
Chicha. But this, we're making tepache.
And tepache, bring it all the way up to today's world, is actually made with fruit. It can be made with different kinds of fruit, but today, the most popular thing is to make it with pineapple. Or piña.
And the nice thing about using the pineapple, the way we're going to do it today, is we use almost the entire thing, so there's almost no waste.
I love that, no waste. If you remember from our watermelon rind pickle recipe, that was a no waste recipe too.
But this is a super simple recipe. You don't have to boil anything, and the ingredients you can get right from your local grocery store. It can't be any simpler than this. Join us on this journey to explore the world of fermentation.
If you'd like to learn how to make ferments like these, start now by clicking subscribe and hitting that bell so you don't miss a thing.
So let's get into this recipe. We have a ton of other recipes to come, so click that subscribe button. The very first ingredient is pineapple, or piña.
Piña.
La piña.
And of course, I'm super excited about this recipe because it is one of my favorites. It's from Mexico, but you know what else is from Mexico? Our pineapple. Our pineapple today is from Mexico as well. It's really fitting. We have really great memories of when we went to Mexico.
What do you think?
It's awesome.
It's huge.
And in fact, we bought little musical instruments when we went.
I think we'll just stick to merengue. Enough of that. We have to get into this recipe because I'm getting thirsty. I want to drink some of that.
Let's do it.
So for today's recipe, we are making what you see in front of you right here, which is a ½ gallon. And for a ½ gallon, the first ingredient is una piña, or one pineapple. Now, we're not using the entire pineapple. We're actually only using the outside peel and the rind inside. Some recipes use the entire thing, but we are actually going to do some other things with the pineapple, like maybe make ice cream or smoothies.
So that makes this recipe a really economical recipe. You can use the pineapple as you usually do, and then normally you throw away the rind, but in this case, you don't have to do that. You could actually make a fermented drink with it.
And this is a fermented sweet drink. It's almost like a pineapple beer. So I can't wait to try that later on.
I can't wait.
So the first thing we need to do to our sweet little pineapple here is give it a wash.
All right, patting it dry a little bit.
Now the only two parts that we don't need are the top and the bottom. So let's get this bottom also cut off.
We basically just don't need the bottom piece of the pineapple. And now of course we have our compost bowl. You know that feeds our garden, but the top piece, I have something very special reserved for this piece. This is actually going to grow into a whole other pineapple. So the trick to getting this piece of the pineapple ready to plant, so you can actually grow a pineapple at home, is to cut off a little more of this bottom piece. So we're going to cut right to the root there. See all these little extra baby leaves down here? We're going to start peeling these off. We want to take off about 3 layers or so. There we go. There we go. Should start to be able to pull these off. Ooh, I can start seeing some roots. Check this out. You can see some of the roots coming out. That looks pretty good about right there.
Now this is probably more for our viewers in tropical and subtropical climates. If you're more in temperate and winter zones, I don't think you're going to be able to grow a pineapple.
Or if you are in a winter area, you could grow this in a pot and put it in some nice sunny area of the inside of your home.
Or a greenhouse.
True. You want to have this sit in a little bit of water, just enough so that the bottom fits in the water. No more than a week, you should start to see some roots. The roots will start to kind of come out and grow into the water, and it'll be better for when you're ready for planting. Let's go to the garden. So we gotta find ourselves a little spot in the dirt. Just gonna put it down into the dirt about this far up so that all those roots that we exposed earlier are down into the dirt. And that's really all it takes. So you'll have one pineapple per year per plant.
We are back from the garden. Now we need our half-gallon jar, and we're gonna start peeling this pineapple. Now when you chop these peels off the side, you probably don't wanna get too much of the pineapple, but if there's some of the pineapple flesh left on there, it's okay, it's gonna just go into the flavor. Okay, now that we've gotten all the peels taken care of, we wanna start getting those into the jar. We're gonna start filling this up.
And we just fill it however you like.
And we actually wanna keep this entire core to put into the jar. So we're gonna cut this in half and then cut it again and get those cores off because they have a lot of flavor, turning them into a nice pineapple beer. You can smell the pineapple, just so fragrant. Going to slice the core off. And I might even get a little bit of fruit just to make sure there's extra flavor in there.
We're not trying to stuff the jar. As long as these things are in there, you don't have to pack it anymore. If you could fill this for me, please, and I'll make ice cream with it later. Or I might just put it in smoothies.
Now, traditionally, tepache is made with something called piloncillo. They take sugar cane and they grind it up into its traditional sugar juice. And they boil it down until it finally gets into like a syrup. And they pour it into a cone, so you have a cone shape. And it's more of like an earthy type of sugar, but you can substitute brown sugar for that.
We like to use 1 cup of sugar, but we actually don't ever have brown sugar on hand. We're gonna make it. We're going to use 1 cup of sugar and add in 1 tablespoon of molasses. Once we stir that together, we will have our 1 cup of brown sugar.
If you want a little bit darker, add 1 more tablespoon of molasses. We're really just kind of imitating the piloncillo.
And if you don't get it all mixed up, it's totally fine because basically it's going to go into a bunch of water and dissolve anyway.
So next we're going to get our brown sugar into the jar. We use this little funnel that's specifically made for mason jars. This has made our life a lot easier. If you want to check this out, we'll put a link in the notes below. Now don't be alarmed if you think this is way too much sugar. All of the bacteria and yeast are going to be eating this, and you're going to end up with something that's just slightly alcoholic. This is going to be an interesting drink. So next we need our spices. So the next ingredient is cinnamon, and we need 1 cinnamon stick.
And we just so happened to have this in the pantry. I wasn't so sure we were gonna have cinnamon sticks. It's not something I use often, but I did have a little jar of cinnamon sticks.
In some parts of Mexico, they don't even use any spices at all. They only use pineapple, sugar, and water, and that's it. But if you want to change this even more, you can add fresh ginger, like a ginger ale. You can add spicy habanero peppers if you want to do it that way. The spices add something unique. Now the next ingredient is whole cloves.
The flavor of cloves goes so far. They're very strong. If you ever use them in baking, you know how strong these are. So 4 is going to be the perfect amount for this recipe.
And if you don't like them as much, you can use less or even leave them out. And for our final ingredient, we are using water. And we want non-chlorinated water. Just like with all of our ginger ales and everything else that we make, you don't want any kind of chlorine in here because this is alive. We're not adding a starter culture, so it's even more important that you use non-chlorinated water. Because the bacteria and yeast that are alive on the pineapple, those are alive. And we want those to eat the sugars. We really want just enough water to fill it up. Get this incorporated, we're gonna put on a lid and give it a nice shake. Okay, now that we have all of that sugar dissolved and it's all shaken up, we're going to take this lid off because we don't want a tight lid on there. So we're going into the primary fermentation. All we want to do is really just cover it. And you can do this in 2 different ways. So the first way you can do it is very easy. You just put a towel on top and rubber band it. Or what we actually like to do is use these fermentation lids. These have been awesome. They're made of silicone, and all you do is you place the lid right on top. What it's gonna do is just keep all of the oxygen out. And now when the bacteria and yeast are eating the sugars, they'll be releasing all of this CO2 and all this gas, and they're gonna be pushing up. And as soon as they push up, it's just going to come out of that little nipple on the top there. If you had had a closure lid on there, this might explode, but you don't want any kind of pressure in here. Now we love these lids. If you want to know where to get them, we'll put a link below in the show notes.
So how long should this sit on the counter during primary fermentation?
So what we like is between 2 and 3 days, and it depends on the activity. Now we're going to follow this every day and show you what it looks like through the fermentation process,
so that you know what to expect when you're making this at home.
After 24 hours, at a quick glance, we didn't see any signs of fermentation, but then we looked closely and found there are definitely some bubbles appearing. After 48 hours, we're seeing some decent bubbles and it's starting to get frothy on top. Very exciting.
Hey! All right, we have a side-by-side for you now. The one that was freshly made. After 3 days, we have a lot of bubbles going on. Let's take a look and see if we think it's ready. Look at all of those frothy white bubbles. And it smells very fermented.
Okay, after 3 days, I think it is ready. There's a lot of bubbles on top. We probably don't want to go too far into it, otherwise it starts tasting a little more like vinegar. We have our hats on, we're gonna celebrate. Let's see what this tastes like.
Wow.
Whoa, that is really sweet.
In the secondary fermentation, we put it into bottles and get more carbonation. More fermentation will happen, just a little bit, so it won't be as sweet as it is right now. Technically, this is ready to go. If you like your sodas or your drinks with less carbonation, then this is ready. But if you want more carbonation, you really want it to be like a fizzy, fun drink, then it's time to bottle. But first, let's take off these hats.
Much better. The next step, we're filtering all of this liquid into this jug. You want to be careful with this, you can make a mess. We're going to know how much water we need to add to get to our half-gallon target.
We got just a little over half of our half-gallon water. So we have to supplement by adding additional filtered, non-chlorinated water to make up that difference. So we're just going to give this a stir. That means we're ready to bottle these. Now, a half-gallon recipe will fill 4 of these beer bottles, but you also want one of the bottles to be a tester bottle. And what we like to use is a reusable type of soda bottle. It's a #1 food safe plastic. You can tell by looking at the bottom and making sure it is #1 grade. These are awesome bottles. They're ready for the pressure because they're really like beer bottles.
They can hold pressure and you can just keep on reusing them over and over and over again. They just have a little clasp top there. We use these all the time and they've always worked for us. We'll put a link in the show notes below.
We're gonna use a little bit of a funnel again to make sure we get everything right into those beer bottles. You can fill it anywhere between this area and about here. So you have a little bit of wiggle room. The other trick is that you wanna make sure to pour your tester bottle about the same height as your other glass bottles.
And now we're gonna cap them off.
They definitely are gonna build pressure.
Strong.
Go ahead and tighten down the cap on the tester bottle too.
We're left with this jar of scraps. So what do we do with these? Just to get every bit of flavor from it, we're gonna add a little bit more sugar. I think we're gonna do maybe another half a cup of sugar and then fill it back up with water and ferment it for another few days and see if we can get another batch out of this.
Looks good, smells good. Should work.
Now that's using everything that we can. Now, why be wasteful?
Shake Tepache. Shake your Tepache, yeah.
So now we're gonna follow these bottles through the secondary fermentation process. This is the part that makes all the bubbles. It's the carbonation and it's the most dangerous part, so beware. We have our tester bottle here. Right now, if you see that, you can squeeze it. There's no pressure on it at all. You can't really tell what's in here, which is why we have the tester bottle. So each day, we're gonna keep testing this bottle and see how hard it is. It's gonna build a little bit of pressure every day. We're probably only gonna go 2 days to give it all that nice carbonation and that kind of beer-like sensation that you know from a drink like this. So, here we go. We are back after 24 hours of carbonation. Check this out. We have got bubbles all throughout the bottles. Very nice. There's a lot of fermentation going on in here. It's definitely carbonating, so when I squeeze the bottle, it still has a little bit of give. Whenever we feel that, we usually go on 1 more day And after 24 more hours, then we are totally ready. And guess what else? The second batch that we refilled the bottle, that thing is on fire. Look at the activity on this thing. I think this is going to be a really good batch of Tepache, and it's definitely working. We are back after 48 hours of the bottling process, and now we want to test the pressure in our tester bottle. It is nearly rock solid. I think it is ready to go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm excited. Let's see what happens. Ooh,
Wow.
here it comes, here it comes.
Ooh.
It's rising, rising, rising. Perfect.
Wow, look at that. It didn't go too crazy,
Yeah.
but definitely has a lot of carbonation.
So normally we like to open this one first so we know what to expect in the glass ones. If this was going to be exploding, up into the ceiling, then I want to be very careful with these. Maybe I would take them over to the sink.
Or outside.
Yeah, or outside, put a towel over it.
I am so excited to try this. We're just gonna put some ice cubes because it is traditionally served over ice.
That is gorgeous. What a treat. Oh my god.
Wow.
Be sure to make Tepache. It is so good. It's still pretty sweet, I would say.
Very fruity. It has a lot more pineapple taste than I thought it was going to because we really didn't use any of the pineapple fruit. We have one more final taste test, and it's not going to be us tasting it. Cheers! Salud! 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 Salud!
Another way that is really good is also to add a little bit of beer to this. Now you can use any kind of a beer. We just happen to have a Mexican beer, which pairs very well with Tepache. Yeah. Huh. That actually, it makes the pineapple a little bit lighter and just, that would be a good sundowner, I think.
Really good. Now that we know we like the taste of this Tepache, these glass bottles are ready to be served or ready to be put in the fridge. And when you put them in the fridge, they'll last for a very long time. Don't forget though to put a little sticker on the bottle so you remember when you made it, because you might just forget.
And they keep carbonating, so burp them every once in a while. For more awesome recipes like these, join the culture. Be sure to hit subscribe. We appreciate every one of you, and get out there and create some culture.
And let you know what it is we taste. I can't smell it. Oh my word.